G'day, I'm Dave with Chaosium. Earlier this week, James sat down with Mike Mason to talk about what his workflow looks like as the line editor for Call of Cthulhu. If you enjoyed this content, let us know in the comments and subscribe to see more.
With Call of Cthulhu, it's quite complex because it's not one thing, I guess. If you think of Call of Cthulhu, the classic era of the 1920s, you would say it's its core line. So we produce books that are set in the 1920s, 30s, let's say, which are its kind of core line, and which the majority of people look to play and want new books for. So that could be source books like Berlin, or the Terra Australis book, or it could be scenario collections, like Doors to Darkness or Gateways to Terror, which are set in those periods. That's one thing, and that's obviously the main thing. However, we also have Down Darker Trails, which is the Western version of Call of Cthulhu, which is distinct to the 1920s because it's a different time period and a different kind of setting ethos. Although they're very similar, it's a distinct line. It's Down Darker Trails, and so that needs its own kind of materials to support that. Then we have things like the kind of core products, rule books, the grimoire, the Malleus Monstrorum we've just set out, which are usable across any kind of style of Call of Cthulhu. Then we have Pulp Cthulhu, which is again its own line with its own kind of setup book, the core book. And then we have campaigns like Two-Headed Serpent and A Cold Fire Within. And we're going to want to put out a collection of one play or scenarios you can slot into your pub campaign as well. So just saying those, and then obviously we're adding things like Cthulhu by Gaslight and Dreamlands. And so if you can see that Cthulhu is made up, although all of these things are interchangeable, and yes, you can use Dreamlands with 1920s or modern day or Gaslight, and you can fit together Gaslight and Down Darker Trails. They've all got their own kind of distinctness in the sense of what they are and where they're set. So in terms of the whole line, it's a balancing act to try and ensure that you are supporting and servicing each of those smaller lines within the big Call of Cthulhu line. So we could spend the next 2 or 3 years just putting out Down Darker Trails books, which is great if you like Down Darker Trails and that's what you want to play. However, if you're really into 1930s pulp, that isn't going to really help you in any way. So it's a balancing act to ensure that we've got a range of books that are covering our different kind of settings and ensuring that people have good content for them to make use of at the gaming table. So no one feels too left out for too long. Hopefully. Gaslight people have been waiting for some time to, for a 7th edition version of Gaslight, and I'm pleased to say that is currently, reaching its end point in terms of development and writing. So that will be coming soon, and that that adds another layer to this puzzle. So in terms of my role in that sense, it is about trying to look at which books address the different kind of lines within Call of Cthulhu, ensuring we're not leaving anyone out for too long, and we're keeping them all kind of moving at a pace. So we have a range of things. But it can be, you can look at it very simply like this. We could, what we don't want to do is put out campaign after campaign after campaign, because campaigns are a big commitment and they take a long time to play. And if you're not a campaign player, well, what are you going to, you've only got our previous books to fall back on. So it's a balancing act in terms of the type of game products. So we look to release a campaign, and then we'd look to release maybe a source book. Then we'd look to release a scenario collection, which are, excuse me, the 3 styles of books we do. There's core rule books, setting books, scenario collections, and campaigns. Four kind of strands of any kind of gaming kind of line in that sense. And so we're trying to rotate those through. So wherever your interest as a customer is in terms of what you're looking to use or read, we're hopefully, at some point over the course of 12 months or more, you'll get one of those products out that, services, what you're looking for, what you need at the gaming table.